So in Lean on Me, finding the inversions is maybe pretty straightforward because it's that standard that we teachers like to drill into you in your piano lessons. But how do you actually make these executive decisions without that same framework being lined up for you every time? Because it's not always going to be that very practical pattern. What I want you to do is I want you to think about which two chords are coming one after the other, and then find the notes that the chords have in common, if any. And with that information, find the shortest way to get to one chord from the previous. And a really good way to do this, if you're not sure, if you haven't quite automatized which notes are in each chord yet, what you can do is play, maybe if you're starting on C major and you're looking for G major, keep C major in your right hand because that's where you're playing, and then kind of just quietly depress G major in the other hand and see what they have in common. And you'll start to see both of those chords have a G. So G is the top note of C major, which in the other two notes are B, D. So I have C here, that can step down to B, and I have E here, that can step down to D. That's the shortest way between those two chords. Or if I'm going from C major to A minor, for example. So in our improvisation, we saw it like this. But these chords have how many notes in common? These chords have two notes in common. We have C and E in both of these chords, which mean, and A is a neighbor of G. So there you go. It's more comfortable if you change the fingering. So you start with 1, 3, 5 for C major and then hop over to 2 on E, but the notes stay the same. And that's your smoothest transition between those two chords. You're not always going to be starting on a root position chord. That will also be a factor. So let's pretend that we had the second inversion of C major and you want to go to A minor. The same logic applies. These two are going to stay the same, and then your thumb's just going to hop up. So then you would have A minor in root position after that second inversion C major chord. And then another important thing to keep in mind is if the root of a chord is the neighbor of the next chord. So for example, if we need G major followed by A minor, none of the notes are going to be in common. So just hop up. That's a time when everything has to move, and so that's the shortest distance to the chord. It's not that sliding the entire chord is always a bad thing. It's just something we have to keep in mind. So then if we go back to champagne problems really quickly, you might also see, so that's C major followed by G major. So we've seen that transition already. And then it's followed by A minor. And we've seen that also. So everything slides up, but from that first inversion position where we were before. And then from A minor to F major, let's see what we have in common here. C is doubled and both chords have A. So that means this E is going to slide over to F. And that's how you would navigate something like that. And that one's really convenient because it's the same 4 chords in the same order every single time. So you just put it on a loop and you do everything. There are also times when sometimes you'll be playing C major in first inversion and other times, or root position, and other times you'll be playing it in second inversion. And it's not, the nice thing that I want you to know is there aren't actually wrong answers here as long as you're playing the right chords. As long as you play the chord in one of its correct inversions, whether it's the closest or not, it doesn't matter. It's still going to sound like the song, you're still going to have the same effect, and you're still going to be able to tell what the music is. You're still going to be able to sing along, and it's all going to work out beautifully. At the end of the day, it's just a piano brain teaser, essentially. Make it a game finding the shortest distance between each of the chords, and you can really have a lot of fun with this style of playing.